All right, welcome back to Digital Growth Live. So excited today to have a new guest. We have Jodi Yauch. I think I said that right.
Yeah.
Okay, Yauch. I was Yuck, not Yauch.
Close.
Yauch.
Good enough.
I was thinking of something else, a previous story. So yes, we have Jodi on the line. She is from the Certified Holistic Intuitive School, which I'm super excited to chat with her about today, her business. As you know, Digital Growth Live is my passion project. It's where I'm interviewing 100 female entrepreneurs, showcasing how brilliant and amazing these women are across all different industries. If you followed my journey, we've had some women from the tech industry. We had some storytellers. So we've had it all. And here I'm super excited because if you know me, or as you get to know me, I do have this kind of like spiritual intuitive side. So Jodi is up to some really cool stuff with her certification program. So welcome, Jodi, to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on Digital Growth Live.
Yes, I'm so excited. So tell the audience a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your business.
Okay, so I am a Reiki business coach and teacher for women who want to embrace their intuitive gifts and start a healing business online. I have a school called Certified Holistic Intuitive, and in that program, it's kind of like my second level program where we really take women deep into self-knowledge, self-healing, and gaining coaching skills so that they can go forth in the world. And the mission of my school is really to kind of revolutionize what it means to be an intuitive and healer, and also to just create this ripple effect of healing and empowerment across the globe. So, yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. So do the women who come to your school, do they kind of already know that they have this intuitive gift and healing like ability, or are they kind of on the cusp? Or yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
That's actually a really good question. And it kind of varies. It's interesting. I have a personal intuition development program, and people that signed up for that are sometimes Reiki master teachers that come and say, I want to know what gifts I have. I want to know if I even have gifts. And if I do, what are they? And if I know what they are, how do I use them to help people? Common problems are, how do I stop taking on other people's energy? How do I know how to tell what's mine versus theirs and what to do with it if it's not mine? So those are common issues. People who are energetically aware or energetically curious, they might be having experiences with energy that they don't necessarily understand, and they're looking for somebody to help them, to guide them, to teach them first about that for themselves, and then how to use that to help others. Yeah.
I love that because I feel like we all have intuitive gifts, but in this day and age, we're so busy and we're taught to kind of push away our feelings and like, especially our like gut intuitive feelings. Like we don't have time for that. So I love that you're taking women and entrepreneurs through that journey of like reconnecting to their intuition, and then after finding out what their gifts are, helping others. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, and such an important part of business. I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten on the phone with somebody as a business coach and who just is in the state of like scatteredness and like, I don't know what my niche is, and just bringing them back into the state of calm and presence and guiding them within to find the answers. I can literally take somebody from that state of like chaotic, energy to just this calm and like, this all makes sense now. Just somebody the other day said, you're the answer to my prayer. And I'm like, oh my God, how touching. But it's, but it's not me. It's them. It's them taking the time to tap into the wisdom within them that I believe is truly where all the answers lay.
Yeah. Any tips for women who are kind of like trying to figure out how to follow their intuition in their business, any tips for them on how to like start, I guess, leaning in towards that versus maybe kind of being a little nervous and scared about that?
Yeah. You mean in terms of like guiding themselves through their entrepreneurial journey
Yeah.
or starting a like a healing business through their
E-
entrepreneur?
Either or, whatever
Okay.
you feel.
Yeah. Starting an entrepreneur or guiding themselves through. Yeah. To me, I would just say the biggest number one tip that I could give is to just pause. First of all, to be awareness, all change starts with awareness, right? So just to become aware of how you're feeling in your body, even if that is, sometimes I'll have my clients put a reminder in their phone 3 times a day and just do a check-in, like, how am I feeling in my body right now? Right? Just get in touch with that. And then the next step to that would just be to bring yourself into a space of breath and body awareness and ask a powerful question within.
Oh,
It's a no fail. It is a no fail. If you can just take even 5 minutes to be present with yourself, how you're feeling in your body, and ask a powerful question within, and really be present with the answer, life changing, life changing.
I love that because I try to have the practice of being still and putting those reminders on my phone. But what you just said at the end is ask that powerful question. That's a game changer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the answer is within. So once you're quiet
Yes.
and still, you ask the question. If you just receive it, then you won't be in disarray in your business, right?
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and oftentimes what somebody might find if they do that, if they're kind of walking around in the scattered state, is what I see often in my work, is people start to cry. Tears start because we're so busy in this hustle and bustle, right? That stopping and being present with ourselves is it's a skill, and it can kind of give access to things that we are shoving down with that busyness, right? Yeah. So it can even be tears of just being touched by the answers that come. Like, oh my gosh, it's this easy. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
awesome.
you can't receive the answer if you don't ask the question, right? It's just like with anybody around you. If I'm
Yeah.
sitting next to my fiance and I'm wondering about something, like, he's not just going to be like, "Hey," like, I have to ask the question. It's the same with us. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I really love that. So tell me a little bit about your school. Is it a year-long program? Like, tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So, um, the certified holistic intuitive school has like several layers. So we start out with some Reiki training, so energy healing training, and practicum. So I'm really big on giving women the experience so that when they go forth in the world, they have that experience under their belt and they feel confident moving forward with what they've learned. And so I guess if I broke it down simply, it would be personal intuition development and then professional intuition development along with business development, right? The certification level the certified holistic intuitive level is something that is not open to the general public. You would have to go through that personal intuition development level first, and then you can graduate into the second level. Yeah. But it's really just so the first level is about understanding and managing your own energy. It is about, finding your healer within, right? It is about finding your voice. It's about understanding the different layers of your being, building solid boundaries around that, and getting in touch with what you need to know to even be able to do that. It's about, once you understand your own energy and can manage your own energy, then you can help others to do it, right?
Yeah.
So that's what the first level is. And then the second level is really learning coaching skills. And it's really learning how to read energy, for others. So the first level, you learn how to read your own energy. The second level, you're learning how to do it for other people. And you're also gaining coaching skills along with that, and then energy healing skills as well. So so a certified holistic intuitive is one who has all three of those skills, and they combine all of that in their work. And you get all of those frameworks in that school. You get the legal forms that you need. Literally everything you need to start a business is there.
I love that. A great support system. And I've been in the entrepreneurial path for so many years now, and I've seen a lot of different programs, right? And I have never seen a program that combines all of that. Like I've seen just coaching, then I've seen just like business programs, but now you're doing it all together, coaching, business programs. And what I find most important is like really how to be intuitive, how to work with your energy. Because when you're working with clients, I mean, there is an energy exchange. I mean, whatever industry that you are in, you even if you're just working with like spirituality, or if you're working in tech, or if you're working in finance, like any sales process, there is an exchange of energy. So you have to learn how to work with that, how to protect yourself, how to engage with that. Those are really important skill sets that many people don't talk about.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
really needed, really
Yeah.
needed.
It's preserving your own energy and your own energy field, so to speak, and knowing how to like shut that off, even, right? Yeah, it's so important. It's so important. And the reason that I made it so comprehensive, like I even went to a lawyer and was like, hey, what, how do we get like the forms that they need, everything that they need? Because there's these, Reiki trainings or, intuition development trainings. And yes, you gain that skill, but then once you have that, then what? Then what do you do? Right.
Mhm.
And I wasn't given that. Like it's like, okay, there's legal aspects that you need to know about. But we also work with creating so each person who comes through certified holistic intuitive school creates their own product. So you leave the program with a product, and in fact it's actually a requirement in order to graduate with that title, right? And so you'll leave the program with a product, and that could be an oracle card deck. One of my clients has created her own. It's already published and in her hot hands, and
Yeah.
it's ready to go. She's got an oracle card deck. You could create a meditation album. You could create your online program, your online course, or your one-on-one program. But you will leave, if you put forth the effort and work, you will leave the program with your very own product as well. So it's very comprehensive. Yeah.
That's great. So how do people find out about your programs? Where do they find out information about your programs?
Well, they would get in touch with me. Right now, my website is loveyoubtrue.com. Right now, it has a sign-up sheet. So there's not a contact form, but if somebody wanted to contact me, they could contact me at jodi@jodianna.com.
Okay, great. So I'll get that information. I will make sure that I drop that information in the notes section of this, and so people can contact you for that.
Perfect.
So I'm curious, how did you start on this journey? Because I love everything that you're doing, and I feel like intuitive or every healer, even every entrepreneur has a story of like, how did they begin this journey? So I'm just curious about you. How did you start this?
Oh my goodness. So my journey started years and years ago. I was working in a corporate job. I was a computer programmer at a Fortune 500 company, working on a small team that was heading up a multi-million-dollar project. I was completely just burnt out, drained, and I just knew that my soul was not like I was meant for so much more, right? Like I was in this job that made great money. I had a beautiful home. I had the American dream, but yet I felt like my soul was just being sucked dry, and I was dying a little inside more and more each day. And I ended up saying a prayer and asking God, like, God, just use me. Like, I don't know what it is that I'm supposed to do, but just use me as your vessel for the greater good, whatever that looks like. And then soon after, I started to get sick, and I became very, very sick. I had a mass on my liver, growth on my thyroid, 2 growths in my chest monitored for cancer. I was having seizure activity in the brain. I would get lost in the town that I grew up in. Like I was in a bad kind of way, right? Really, really sick. And I ended up getting so sick that I lost my job. And as a consequence, I lost my home. And so I was absolutely devastated. So here I am, no money coming in, sick, and really at that point, just on my knees. I had a team of over 20 doctors in my phone. Not one of them could fix me because not one of them could set me back on purpose and teach me how to love and accept myself as an energetically aware woman who is here with a very different kind of mission from computer programming, right? And so one night I just dropped to my knees, bawling and crying out to God, and tears streaming down my face. And I'm just like, God, what is it that I have to do or see to learn so that I can get on with my life? Because I refuse to live like this for the rest of my life. And in that prayer session, I kind of got this knowing that I was meant to take this trip around the globe, and that if I did, I would heal completely. And I'm just like, I literally have no money. Like, this is the most absurd thing I've ever heard. And the answer came back, just take one step and the money will show up. And so I went and applied for a visa to go to India. And true to words, a dear friend gifted me an airline ticket to India. So still very sick, I trekked off to India. I traveled over there for a year. I trained in an ashram to become a meditation and mindfulness facilitator. I took some energy training. I studied yoga, studied with all types of people in different modalities. And I lived over there for a while. And when I came back, I went to the doctors and they ran testing, and the testing showed that there was no mass on my liver, no growth on my thyroid, and the growths in my chest had shrunk to just dense material. And my family physician at the time said, there is no scientific explanation for this. The only true healing is spiritual healing. And so in that moment, I dedicated my life to spiritual healing. And then I went on to create this online school, Certified Holistic Intuitive School, teaching women the things that I learned, energy healing techniques, how to help people to find the answers within themselves so that they can go forth and create a ripple effect of healing and empowerment across the globe. And that is literally why I'm on the face of this earth. Yeah.
Wow, that is so inspiring. And so I mean, I feel like giving you a word bath, like courageous warrior, like it's just goddess. I mean, it's amazing, right? What happens when we ask the universe a question, and then we surrender to it, and then it provides, right? And it's a hard, and I've learned, it's a hard journey sometimes, but only if I make it hard. Because like if you just really learn to surrender and, like you said, take that next step and take that next step in faith, it's always provided for you.
Yes.
And I'm so grateful that like the healing happened for you in so many different areas. And I don't feel like it's just physically for you, it's mind, body, soul.
Absolutely. Yeah. That was a part of, when I was over there, I probably for the first time in my life was able to look in the mirror and see the beauty in my own reflection, right? So it was a whole journey of finding myself and the self-love and acceptance, and this stopping denying who I am as God made me, right? Like it, moving myself out of this environment where it wasn't okay to be me, and into an environment, because in other cultures, when you have energetic gifts, intuitive gifts, is what people call them. And we all have, you're right, we all have intuitive gifts. Some people can sense and feel energy in more, in stronger ways, I guess you would say. And in my country, in my culture, that's not widely accepted necessarily, right? And so a lot of women that come to me are also sometimes often wondering, secretly, am I crazy? Am I just making this up, right? And so part of my mission here, I feel like, is to normalize it. Like, it's a normal thing that you can stand next to somebody and feel. Or I had one client come and say, oh, I went to the mall and I feel this stuff clinging to me. What is that? It's energy. And that's science, right? But in other cultures, it's accepted. It's not only accepted, it's revered, it's respected, right? And so yes, it was a whole mind body spirit. I kind of learned as I was going through that whole process that we have these different layers to our being. And it's almost like I was being walked through them in this sort of very linear way, although even within that linear steps, it was kind of back and forth. It's never a linear thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like pop to this thing and then it goes back to this thing. But the way that I was sort of being walked through it, I feel like I was first shown that we have this physical part of ourselves, and I had to learn how to care for my physical being, right? I had to learn how to nurture, how to feed myself properly, how to give myself physical activity, and then there was this mental emotional layer where I was just guided to bring myself to my yoga mat each day and start to ask very powerful questions within and really sit with the answers that were coming up, which was sometimes very painful to do. And then there was this mental layer and spiritual layer, and that final layer was what I call the purpose layer. It was like, okay, so I've got like all these layers, and then boom, this is my purpose, this is what I'm here to do. And it's not that there's not one layer that works independent of the other. They're all integrated, they all flow together, they all work with each other, right? That would be like to say that the physical layer is a separate thing would be like saying your physical heart can be plucked out and set over here and it's going to keep functioning. It's not like that. It's an integrated wholeness, right? So it was really a journey to wholeness. That would be a good way to put it. Yeah.
Love it. I love it. This has been so like juicy for me, like so great in terms of like what you're saying. So is there do you have a program coming up? Oh, we talked about the program, but is there like a date that people should contact you by? Like what you're offering if you have one at this moment?
Yeah. So right now I am doing an event on Monday night. So Monday, May 16th, and I'll always have events going. So if this sounds awesome to you and you're listening past that date, then reach out to me. But I'm having an event on Monday. It's called Discover an Energy Healing Method that promotes relaxation and peace. And so what we're going to do in this session, it's going to take about 2 hours, I think. It's the first time that I've done this. So it's 6 p.m. Central Time, Monday, the 16th, May 16th. And we are going to first just have a relaxation time. It's for women only. I'm going to have you relax into a guided meditation to put you into that receptive meditative state so that you can be with yourself internally. We're going to do a little bit of energy work around releasing blocks, energetic blocks, and then we're going to realign with your vision so that you have a crystal clear vision moving forward. And then after that, we're going to have a little bit of journaling time and a group discussion. It is not recorded. It won't be streamed to Facebook. It is truly just a sacred space that I'm creating for women to come together and just have this experience and share their experience with one another in community.
Yes. Beautiful. So make sure that you sign up. Make sure you sign up. This is going to be great. May 16th. You said 6 p.m. Central?
6 p.m. Central Time. Yep.
p.m. Central Time. Okay. Great. And is there any like one piece of advice or a nugget or something that you really want the audience to know, either about you or your business, or just something that you want the audience to feel or know?
Yeah, there's a couple things. So first, I want to go back to the event because you do have to sign up for the event. So you have to sign up at loveyoubtrue.com. There's some questions you would fill out, and then you have to confirm your email so I can send you the Zoom link. So there's just that. Now, feeling into the one tip or message that I would leave, I think it would really be maybe an experience to just take a moment to close your eyes and really just take a slow and controlled inhale, slow and controlled exhale, and just bring yourself into a space of breath and body awareness, paying attention to how you feel inside, and to ask yourself a powerful question. And if you don't have a powerful question, then ask yourself what question you could ask that would be a powerful question. Remaining with slow and controlled inhales and exhales, just really allowing those answers to come up. And then just taking a moment to bring your awareness fully back to my voice and opening your eyes when you're ready, bringing in any authentic movement that feels right to you, and knowing that you can have that short little teeny tiny practice. It literally takes seconds. You don't have to get on a yoga mat. You don't have to be in a special chair, right? You can do it anywhere. You can do it. I mean, don't close your eyes driving down the road, but you can connect to your breath and ask a question within, no matter where you're at in the world, right? Yeah. That would be my tip.
Thank you so much for that. I didn't know the question I was going to ask. And as soon as like my body was settled, it was like, yeah, ask that question.
Yeah. And how was it for you?
It was great. It was great. Thank you.
Amazing.
I
Yes.
appreciate it.
Yes.
And it's funny, and I'll be honest, because this is probably what this is the reason for this platform is like authenticity. I asked a question and I was really scared to hear what the response was. So I was really nervous. But then I was like, okay, just take another deep breath in, take another deep breath out, and whatever comes up is supposed to come up.
I love that.
So thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much. I always like to ask my guest about their self-care practice and their self-love practice. And I feel like you're a divine expert in this. So because from an entrepreneur's perspective, you're handling so many different things, especially if you're creating a program, if you're creating a project. You're in that creation mode all the time, and then you have to handle the business, and you have to handle the marketing and the sales. So what do you do to keep yourself grounded? What do you do to keep yourself like in pleasure?
Yeah. It would expand across all of those. For like, okay, if I look at the physical, I go for walks out in nature, right? Mental, emotional would be similar to the exercise that we just did. And always, I have this wonderful planner. It's called Wonderland 222 Planner. And I love it because it's got a very wide set of, so the day, sorry, here we go.
I love planners.
I know I'm like a planner-holic. It's got a whole like weekly spread, right? So I see all my week at once. And at the end of the day, I always try to review, like, what did I do well and what could I have done better? So really just taking a moment to celebrate what I have done, I feel like is so important. Because I feel like it's, as an entrepreneur, our to-do lists are so huge, just like you said, right? And it's easy to get caught up in, oh, I got to do this and I got to do this, and I didn't get near where I wanted to get today, right? But if we just stop and like be present with what we did accomplish for that day, huge.
I love that. I love that you talk about celebrating what you've accomplished that day. I feel as women entrepreneurs and just women in general, we have a hard time celebrating either ourselves or our accomplishments. And it was a practice that I implemented like 5 or 6 years ago that I implemented, like practicing bragging or speaking, like celebrating something. And so life-changing in so many different areas. So I love that you practice that daily. So what are you celebrating today?
Today, I'm celebrating doing this, doing this interview and getting ready for my event on Monday. And I'll say, another practice that I started just recently, actually recently as in the past 2 days, because I've been doing interviews, is really writing down the affirmations that I hear from others, right? So some of the words that you've used in this interview, I'll have to go back and look and find them. Courageous, I think warrior was one of them. And just like anytime that somebody says something good about you. And then as I was doing that in the past couple of days, I was like, you know what? And I can do this for somebody else. Like, can I give somebody, one person a day, a positive affirmation that they can take home and carry with them, whether they're consciously aware of that or not. So,
yeah. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being my guest. It was so informative. I love the work that you're doing. I so appreciate that you trusted your intuition, and are going forth into the world and making such a huge impact. I'm actually getting goosebumps right now, with the work that you're doing and helping healers become more intuitive and really love and accept themselves. Because when I started out in the journey and I felt like I knew like stuff about energy and I used to feel things, yeah, I did feel freaking crazy. And people think like I wouldn't say it to a lot of people because they're like, what are you talking about? And
Yes.
it's taken me a long time to accept the gifts that I have. And now that I have accepted that, now I can use it to help other people.
Yes.
And the space to become confident in that is so freeing. So thank you for doing that for so many other women, because
Mhm.
that's super powerful. So yeah, thank
Yes, thank you. And thank you for having this platform for all of the women who are, stepping into their calling, in their power, and really just creating that ripple effect of empowerment with Digital Growth Live. So,
Yeah, and this platform is really for women entrepreneurs, but I feel this conversation is going to tap into a lot of my audience on LinkedIn who may be in a 9 to 5 career, who there are just like things just tapping at them saying, okay, we want to do things different. We want to do things different. So I really feel like this message is across the board great for everyone, right? Because it's really trust your calling, trust what your body is telling you, trust the messages that your body are telling you, and then take those small steps to get
yeah.
where you really need to be.
And don't let it get to the point where you get sick. Like that's one of my huge takeaways from that whole, I mean, it happened over a series of years, but there are consequences to living life for everyone else and not for your spirit's calling. Right? And it looks different for everybody. But don't let it get so bad, that you're just so miserable. Like if you're feeling that tugging in your heart, listen to it. Take those few moments. What is it saying to you? What is it tugging you towards? Right? Yes. Ugh,
Yeah, I
this
love
is
that. And I'm
painful.
just going to ask your powerful question after you listen to
Yeah.
your heart. And I think that
Mm,
is the message for today.
yes.
Yeah.
Mm, so good. I
Thank you
appreciate so
so
much.
much. It's such a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you again to my audience for watching our Digital Growth Live. Again, I'm really passionate about this, talking to different entrepreneurs from all different industries, just showcasing the work that we are doing, helping these women to be seen and heard in this digital space. So thank you again to my audience. Make sure you go to her website. Make sure you show us some love with some emojis and comments of what you loved. And we will see you on the next episode. So bye.